This is Deb Helfrich, hashtag RedheadedSheHulk, and this is August 15th version of Occupy CMU. 4 months of homelessness. You know, free will hunting, Matt Damon was the janitor on Harvard campus. In 2021, I'm the homeless 52-year-old on Carnegie Mellon's campus. Who it's challenging for me to say, but it's true. I am the smartest philosopher on campus. Philosopher of life-centric thinking, of hashtag well-being philosophy, of using evolutionary logic and the math of life, using logic plus love intertwined to think about our failing civilization, think about the lives of privilege that just a few have, while so many humans, 7.8 billion humans, and only a small slice have ever had the chance to live fully equitable lives. 50% of the world is in water-stressed regions, and I myself, sitting in the middle of a supposed first world country in Pittsburgh, I've experienced water scarcity alongside food scarcity, alongside four walls and air conditioning scarcity. Because I refuse to do harm to other people in the way that participating in plantation capitalism guarantees. Now, seeing plantation capitalism clearly, seeing this framework of the last 500 years of our species only as this time when we believed in separatism, racism, genderism, privilege, when we believed in a hierarchy that couldn't be questioned. Well, God damn it, we need to start questioning it all over the place. And we need to start questioning the actual scientific method. Trust me, I'm a wise feminine philosopher, I got this. Now, as it stands, of course, the scientific method is good at stuff. But we need a concomitant philosophical method to deal with how we make valid discoveries about life, about an ever-changing entity, or what I think right now will be different when I wake up tomorrow. Will be different when I go to sleep tomorrow night. Will be different based on who I interact with, what challenges occur. We keep wanting to say there's such a thing as neurotypical. Why is neurodivergency rampaging? Why is everyone fighting about whether they're autistic or ADHD? I don't want diagnosis. We stop diagnosing valid expressions of the human condition. Let me tell you something. Neurodivergency all comes down to one thing: humans suffering the effects of global warming. Now, as the hashtag RedheadedSheHulk, civilizational toxicity makes me angry. It quite literally does. And quite literally, I rage not into green muscles, but into like amygdala primal, I'm going to die fear when I encounter cigarette smoke. That's fundamentally why I ended up destitute. I left the continental US of hypocrisy. Lived on an island off the coast of Seattle because the smells of human civilization, the smoking, the petrochemical scents, all of these products we use that create horrific external microbiomes. These scents, dryer sheets and fragrances, and wearing 25 products a day. This is damaging our body's biofield. I'm going to go a little bit into some science here. Biofield is a National Institutes of Health term for the electrosmog of our brain and our heart. Now, we typically think of our central nervous system as the nerves. But electromagnetism isn't like water. When you put water through a pipe, there may be some splashing up near the top. But essentially, it's a closed system. You pour the water in the pipe, and it goes from where you put it in to where it comes out. A brain impulse through a nerve, especially a myelinated nerve, that is a fast express train. But electromagnetic waves, brain waves, are not these linear forces like water in a pipe. They ripple. They're waves, 360 degrees. So while there's the express train through the nerves, and especially the myelinated nerves, there's also the rippling that occurs around us. That's the biofield. The electrosmog of our brain and heart communicating with every nook and cranny of our very complex biosphere. The philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity is my life's work. It's why I am free will hunting of 2021, although in my case, it's free will gathering. Not hunting anything. There's no bows and arrows or guns or anything like that. What I am doing is gathering ancestral wisdom, because that biofield, that concept, that would be the chakras. That would be a system very well documented in the Indian subcontinental tradition of Ayurveda, yoga. These principles, known for millennia, is also the Tai Chi and the acupuncture of China. These ancestral wisdom traditions have validated for millennia bioelectricity. Then, I don't know, 120, 130 years ago, we had some rudimentary tools that people came through and said, nah, we can't, there's no electricity coming off the human body. Well, this is because the amount of hertz and the voltage we expected to match the plugins of our devices. This is a very much different quality of hertz, different higher electromagnetic frequencies. To make the stuff of the cell phone work, we need a much more intense signal of electricity. Bioelectricity is very subtle. The human brain, we know this, works from 24 hertz downwards. I'll answer a big question for you right now, since we're here. Prior to the book, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, UC Berkeley sleep researcher, pretty much everyone was still saying, science doesn't know why we sleep. Well, hello science, philosophy does. Well, why we sleep, and all life does to some extent, especially mammals, the live birth situation, everything about mammalian evolution is precedented on interdependent systems of functioning. And sleep is when we're in a state of heart and brain coherence in the 1 to 2 hertz range. 60 beats a minute to 120 beats a minute. That range is 1 to 2 hertz, if you do the math. 1 to 2 hertz is when our brain is in delta, which is sleep and or coma. Throw that little challenge in there. I believe that unconscious are in delta states, but that our subconscious is not a black box, and that our subconscious can come out and play during the day. It's quite literally why I am the little redheaded girl who's grown up to give Sigmund Freud vagina envy, because I have a better definition of the subconscious. Find any neuroscientists and let me inquire of them where in this bountiful terrain of the brain, this map that they've created so robustly, where is the subconscious? It's the biofield. This intellectual property and the way in which I want to share it as Socratic monologues, as a stand-up philosopher, talking like this, creating improvs where I share a little bit of how to blend ancestral wisdom with cutting edge science using the philosophical method. Scientific method works well for stuff, truly does. But this whole show me the study culture of human functioning puts us back into this whole neurotypical, this whole humans are cookie cutter, machine tooled, identical widgets, which we are not. The effect of our rare lived experience on our rare physical body, it creates conditions that just are so very different from person to person to person. And if we want to evolve our civilization, we're going to have to start treating humans not as racial categories, not as genders, and all of these ways we slice and dice humans. We need to start treating humans as if they were a precious life force, capable of anything, and then it is society's framework that must be altered to enable every single one of the 7.8 billion humans, plus every nook and cranny of planet Earth, to have the basics: clean water, clean air, secure shelter and nutrition, and access to electricity and the internet. When we enable these essentials for every single one of the species Homo sapiens sapiens, we will be on our way to creating nirvana on Earth. It's as simple as that. Value human life force, value all life on the planet, all carbon-based molecules take priority over stuff. There's life and there's stuff. And we have the math of stuff and we have the math of life. 1 + 1 = 3. It's so rudimentary, it takes me merely 9 words. 1 man + 1 woman = a third baby. Now, if you think just a little bit more profoundly, that means the math of life could also be 1 + 1 = 4. In the case of twins, 5. 1 + 1 = 5 or a dozen puppies and kittens. How many birds and bees? Hives worth. Let's start seeing the preciousness of life as we lose the day's light and we say goodnight to August 15th. And tomorrow dawns the day when I truly refuse to take no for an answer when it comes to being given an opportunity to create a job to share well-being philosophy at Carnegie Mellon University. I have no other option but to die. And I don't want to die. I don't see any valid purpose for not establishing the preciousness of my own life, because I see the preciousness in all life. What could be more important than somebody willing to stake everything to fix this failing civilization? It's been Deb Helfrich. Reach out immediately. DebHelfrich@gmail.com. Harmony.